Data pre-processing is a very important activity in machine learning in order to make the data ready for further training. So in order to perform this, we're going to see two important pre-processing strategies. First is the missing value analysis. Second comes your normalization. So let us go in detail linking up with the practical example. So first I have imported two important packages, NumPy and Pandas, the use of which we have already discussed in our previous sessions. And in order to download the data, actually a lot of open source data sets are readily provided by different sources, and we have made an exhaustive list of those things along with my student Siddharth. So that is readily available in my blog, which I have given. Okay, I'll just show. If you go, you can see the list of all sources from where you can download the dataset. But be cautious that you are supposed to use only the open datasets that are available. 90% whatever I have given is the open source dataset only. So if at all, if any dataset, it was written that the permission has to be taken from the provider, you have to properly take the permission. Otherwise, it will come under violation of your case. Okay. So now I'm going to use one data set called forest fires. Before proceeding, let us see how it looks like. There are certain attributes like X, Y, month, day on which the fire has been caught, and some of the parameters. And there are a number of rows that are available. A complete data collection is there. Now, as usual, using the pandas object, I'm going to read that Excel file into a data frame, which is GF1. So if at all you want to print the information about the columns, you can print. I'm just going to print the first few lines, 5 lines by default in head, and finally the shape will tell how many number of objects, rows and columns are there on your corresponding case. So let me execute this block. You can see all the information about the attributes are shown, and this is the first 5 rows of the data set. And how many rows we have? 517 rows. That is the shape. Okay. So this is what we have done by already downloading a data set onto our local system and loading it onto a data frame. If you don't want, you can directly download it from a URL. Okay. So I have shown one more example for that here. Instead of a local drive, if you directly give a URL from where you can download the data, you can download. Okay. So here, this is another important, very important machine learning repository from where you can download the lakhs of data sets. You name the domain in which you want data set is available. So it is UCI repository. From there, I'm trying to download a wine database. Okay. And I'm going to print the information about it and the first few lines. So it will take a minute because it has to go through the net. Yes, it came. So now this is the information. It has 13 columns and the first few lines we have printed. Okay, and the headers are not getting printed because when you are downloading from the data set, factually we don't know whether the attributes of the columns are already available or not, and hence as a precaution I have given the value of header to be none. Later on, by looking at this info, okay, you can add whatever be the columns which is available. Once created the data frame, next pre-processing activity we are going to do is to check whether there is any missing value in the data set. Fortunately or unfortunately, we don't have any that is missing value, and hence I am going to impute some missing value onto that. Or unfortunately, there are no missing values on this data set, and hence I am going to impute it of my own. How to do that? So these are all some of the functionalities which you can experience. That's why I am imputing df2 of 1. So what I am doing, I'm going to take the column indexed by 1, which is the second column. I'm going to replace the column, and what are the row numbers I'm going to replace? Starting with indexed with 1 and ending with 5. Okay, so what are the values? It will take row index 1, 2, 3 and then 4, not including 5 as usual. Okay, so all these values has to be replaced by a special value. See, it is not an empty value. In Python, empty value is represented by a special data type called N-O-N-E, none. Okay, but here it is a missing value. Missing value doesn't mean an empty value. Actually, it is something special in Python. It's complete emptiness, whichever we have. So it is represented by NaN, not a number. So np.nan is what is the value I'm going to replace. And this in place is equal to true. What it actually states, so we are going to rewrite this updation onto the same data frame itself. df2 will be replaced by the same thing. So these are the 4 values, it will get replaced by that. Similarly, I am writing second line also to replace the column that is indexed by 11. So 11th column, if you take this, 11th column, if you take this, I am going to replace the column numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, so actually it's not 1 to 5, I guess. It is 0 to 5. Okay, let us continue to be 1 to 5. And all those values are what is going to be replaced by NaN. Okay, so let us execute and see what's happening. Second line also, what I did is this, I have taken this column indexed by 11 and I am replacing these values from 0 to 6 to NaN. Okay, so if we print, this is the value that we are getting. So in column 1, the 4 values are made at not a number. Similar cases for 11. Now that having introduced a missing value onto the data set, now let's see how to fill it up. Okay, so how to check whether your data set has null values or not. Okay, so there is a function called isNullOf. If you use it, it will say, okay, so it will say where and all you have this null value. See, all these are false and these things are true. Okay, so once having identified the fact, then we go for missing value filling up. Okay, so what are the probable ways to deal with missing data? The very simple fact is that you can just remove the lines. Where and all the missing values available, you can just remove either row wise or column wise. Okay, but that is not actually a fact, because if a particular cell has not a number which is a missing value, doesn't mean that all other data are not important. Okay, it may have some important parameters, and hence it's always a strategy to fill up the missing values with actually any value. Okay, so how to fill up that? A special method is available in a very simple manner in Python, which is fill NA. That's all. With what value will you fill now? It is up to us. We can fill with 0, we can fill with the maximum of those value, we can fill with mean, mode, you can fill with the average of the first n numbers, anything we can do, but the function remains same, fill NA. So here I am using mean function, mean of the particular column in which we found the missing value as a filling parameter. Okay, so just we'll print after executing this. You can see these are the values with NaN, right? That now it is being filled with the average of that column, mean of that column. 13.06 is the mean. That is one way. But whatever value you are passing here, with that value it can be done. Suppose if I give 0, okay, you see actually it doesn't have a null value now, and hence it is showing like this. First let me execute this in order to have a not a null. Then if I come back and execute, rerun this, see, zeros gets filled up very easily. Okay, having done this missing value analysis, the next step is to proceed for normalization, right? The simple normalization technique is to identify the maximum value among an attribute, that is column, divide each and every value by this maximum value. That's all. All your values will range between 0 to 1. Why are we doing this? It is to make all the values that are distributed on your data set to adhere to a specific range, so that it may be easy for visualization. When you want to draw a graph, how do we do if there is more distribution on it? Okay, and also if you make it more standardizable to fit in a range, analysis is also very easy. That's why we go for normalization. But while doing normalization, we should not miss up to in the range, okay, in which the values are being given. So now what I did is the min-max normalization. It is very simple. Let's say x is your value and the min represents the minimum of that attribute. Max represents the maximum of that attribute. This min-max normalization works on a formula of x minus min divided by max minus min. That's all. Okay, it gives the effectiveness of the system. So that's where we end up with this. So after having done that, I have just printed the maximum value on the attribute and the minimum value on the attribute to show the fact that it lies between 0 to 1. Okay. And if you print this df2 of 1, which is what we have done the normalization now, dot head, then also you can see the values will lie within the range of 0 to 1 only. Okay. Okay. Now having done missing value analysis or having filled up your missing value and having done the normalization, the next normal procedure is to go for data set splitting, training and testing data. Okay, some more pre-processing are there which we'll be covering up in the next sessions. So this is about how to divide your data set into training and testing. Actually, this is being done using a simple method called train test split in sklearn package, but understanding how is it happening at the back is of more use and more knowledgeable to us, and hence I am just simulating it. That's it. Okay. So how I did is, first of all, I'm going to create a mask. Okay. So what is the concept? Just I'll explain you with this data set. So we have this data set. I am going to create random values depending on the size of the data set. How many ever rows we have, for those things I'm going to create a random number. All your random number will lie between 0 to 1, we say. Whenever the value lies less than 0.8, okay, so I'm going to consider it to be on the training set. When the random number is greater than 0.8, I'm going to consider that in the testing data set. That's what is the concept I'm going to implement here. Okay. Now with that idea, you have a look at np.random.randof, how many values I have to generate. Okay. How to know length of df of any a column you say. That will give you the number of rows actually. Less than 0.8. Okay, so when it the value that it generates is less than 0.8, it will keep it in the mask. Otherwise it will set up the value. Otherwise it will be set to the other category. That is, it will be set to true, otherwise it will be set to false. Okay, now I want to show that to you, okay, of how the mask is being created. So I'm creating a new data frame df3 as an empty data frame, to which I'm going to add up these two columns. What is the first column? It is nothing but the attribute indexed with 2, and the second column would be the mask. Okay, I'm printing, you see, the data. So this is the values that we have on the column indexed by 2, and these are the corresponding mask. So what happens, whenever there is a true, these data will be taken for training. When there is a false, these data will be taken for testing. That's all, very simple. Okay, so we have printed that data frame. I hope it will be clear for you. Then now, so how to do that? Just apply this mask on the df2 data frame. So when the value is true, it will retain on your training database, and if the value is false, it will retain on your testing database. That's what you can see here. So this is the mask altogether that is being created. So actually this is the original data set 178.14. This is the training data set. So what happens? So wherever the value true is there, all those rows will be included here. And if you look at 38 rows are being marked as false. If you want to check, you can check very easily. Actually, the third value is false, right? So what is the third row? The third row is having 1.95 as the value in the attribute column indexed with 2. So that should go in test column, right? So I'll just print test. What is the name we have? Yes, we have test dot head of. Yes, you could see. So the value with index 2, which is 2.36, you can see here. Yes, this is 2.36, right? So that's what we did. So actually this value is false and hence it has gone to test data set. Okay. Hope you are clear with dividing the data set into training and testing. So it gives a complete randomness. So you can also feel the having the feel of dividing by yourself. Okay. So this is completely a number which I have assumed. You can assume your own numbers. Suppose if you give 6, it will vary. Even if you execute this for the second time, the mask will vary because it's completely random. See now, this is having false. Earlier the third row is having false. Now this is having false. Okay. So that's all. Thank you.